6.4 ATP, adenosine triphosphate. By the end of this section, you will be able to do the following. Explain ATP's role as the cellular energy currency. Describe how energy releases through ATP hydrolysis. Even exergonic, energy-releasing reactions require a small amount of activation energy in order to proceed. However, consider endergonic reactions, which require much more energy input, because their products have more free energy than their reactants. Within the cell, from where does energy to power such reactions come? The answer lies with an energy-supplying molecule scientists call adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. This is a small, relatively simple molecule, figure 6.13. But within some of its bonds, it contains the potential for a quick burst of energy that can be harnessed to perform cellular work. Think of this molecule as the cell's primary energy currency in much the same way that money is the currency that people exchange for things they need. ATP powers the majority of energy requiring cellular reactions. Figure 6.13. ATP is the cell's primary energy currency. It has an adenosine backbone with 3 phosphate groups attached. As its name suggests, adenosine triphosphate is comprised of adenosine bound to 3 phosphate groups. Figure 6.13. Adenosine is a nucleoside consisting of the nitrogenous base adenine and a 5-carbon sugar, ribose. The 3 phosphate groups, in order of closest to furthest from the ribose sugar, are alpha, beta, and gamma. Together, these chemical groups constitute an energy powerhouse. However, not all bonds within this molecule exist in a particularly high energy state. Both 166 Chapter 6, Metabolism access for free at openstax.org. Bonds that link the phosphates are equally high energy bonds, phosphoanhydride bonds, that, when broken, release sufficient energy to power a variety of cellular reactions and processes. These high-energy bonds are the bonds between the second and third, or beta and gamma, phosphate groups and between the first and second phosphate groups. These bonds are high-energy, because the products of such bond breaking, adenosine diphosphate, ADP, and one inorganic phosphate group, pi, have considerably lower free energy than the reactants, ATP and a water molecule. Because this reaction takes place using a water molecule, it is a hydrolysis reaction. In other words, ATP hydrolyzes into ADP in the following reaction. Like most chemical reactions, ATP to ADP hydrolysis is reversible. The reverse reaction regenerates ATP from ADP plus pi. Cells rely on ATP regeneration just as people rely on regenerating spent money through some sort of income. Since ATP hydrolysis releases energy, ATP regeneration must require an input of free energy. This equation expresses ATP formation. 2 prominent questions remain with regard to using ATP as an energy source. Exactly how much free energy releases with ATP hydrolysis, and how does that free energy do? Transferring from one system to another and transformed from one form to another. Humans can convert the chemical energy in food, like this ice cream cone, into kinetic energy, the energy of movement to ride a bicycle. Plants can convert electromagnetic radiation, light energy, from the sun into chemical energy. Credit, Ice Cream. Modification of work by D. Sharon Pruitt. Credit, Kids on Bikes. Modification of work by Michelle Riggin Ransom. Credit, Leaf. Modification of work by Corey Zanker. The second law of thermodynamics. A living cell's primary tasks of obtaining, transforming, and using energy to do work may seem simple. However, the second law of thermodynamics explains why these tasks are harder than they appear. None of the energy transfers that we have discussed, along with all energy transfers and transformations in the universe, is completely efficient. In every energy transfer, some amount of energy is lost in a form that is unusable. In most cases, this form is heat energy. Thermodynamically, scientists define heat energy as energy that transfers from one system to another that is not doing work. For example, when an airplane flies through the air, it loses some of its energy as heat energy due to friction with the surrounding air. This friction actually heats the air by temporarily increasing air molecule speed. Likewise, some energy is lost as heat energy during cellular metabolic reactions. This is good for warm-blooded creatures like us, because heat energy helps to maintain our body temperature. Strictly speaking, no energy transfer is completely efficient, because some energy is lost in an unusable form. An important concept in physical systems is that of order and disorder, or randomness. The more energy that a system loses to its surroundings, the less ordered and more random the system. Scientists refer to the measure of randomness or disorder within a system as entropy. High entropy means high disorder and low energy, figure 6.12. To better understand entropy, think of a student's bedroom. If no energy or work were put into it, the room would quickly become messy. It would exist in a very disordered state, one of high entropy. Energy must be put into the system, in the form of the student doing work and putting everything away, in order to bring the room back to a state of cleanliness and order. This state is one of low entropy. Similarly, a car or house must be constantly maintained with work in order to keep it in an ordered state. Left alone, a house's or car's entropy gradually increases through rust and degradation. Molecules and chemical reactions have varying amounts of entropy as well. For example, as chemical reactions reach a state of equilibrium, entropy increases, and as molecules at a high concentration in one place diffuse and spread out, entropy also increases. Scientific method connection transfer of energy and the resulting entropy set up a simple experiment to understand how energy transfers and how a change in entropy results. 1. Take a block of ice. This is water in solid form, so it has a high structural order. This means that the molecules cannot move very much and are in a fixed position. The ice's temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. As a result, the system's entropy is low. 2. Allow the ice to melt at room temperature. What is the state of molecules in the liquid water now? How did the energy transfer take place? Is the system's entropy higher or lower? Why? 3. Heat the water to its boiling point. What happens to the system's entropy when the water is heated? Think of all physical systems in this way. Living things are highly ordered, requiring constant energy input to maintain themselves in a state of low entropy. As living systems take in energy storing molecules and transform them through chemical reactions, they lose some amount of usable energy in the process, because no reaction is completely efficient. They also produce waste and byproducts that are not useful energy sources. This process increases the entropy of the system's surroundings. Since 6.3, the laws of thermodynamics 165 all energy transfers result in losing some usable energy. The second law of thermodynamics states that every energy transfer or transformation increases the universe's entropy. Even though living things are highly ordered and maintain a state of low entropy, the universe's entropy in total is constantly increasing due to losing usable energy with each energy transfer that occurs. Essentially, living things are in a continuous uphill battle against this constant increase in universal entropy. Figure 6.12 entropy is a measure of randomness or disorder in a system. Gases have higher entropy than liquids, and liquids have higher entropy than solids.